want to welcome everybody to the Inside the Cardinal Playbook for another edition. Talking to Coach Kruse right after this tough loss Saturday. I thought our kids played, particularly offensively, our best ball game, but really overall, we were there and we could smell it. So I'll just let you go from there.
Yeah, I had some post-game comments, I think, that may be up on the web or not, but, that was a heartbreaker. As a coach, anytime you lose, on a last-second play or in the last couple minutes, they really hurt, especially when you fought so well and you've came back in a game like that, down 10 at half, and you come back and have a chance to tie it with a minute and a half to go, and so that one stung. They all sting. You never want to lose, but the ones you have a chance to deal with the ones that aren't in doubt at the end a little bit sooner, because kind of towards the end of the game, well, this can be a tough one to get back into. This week, we're down 10 at half, and challenged them at halftime to go out and make plays and make the plays you got for everyone to make a play, and they did. It was great to see. Offensively, that's more becoming who we are, and execution, and a 13-play drive and a 15-play drive and a 33-yard touchdown pass, big play, and there was a lot of players made key plays, made big plays on offense, and then defensively in the second half. We gave up, I think, maybe 80 total yards of offense.
Right.
We gave up a big play touchdown backed up that hurt us, and we got to stay away from those big plays. But otherwise, there were a lot of 3-and-outs and a lot of punts, and special teams wise, we continue to be good at some things. We had a couple miscues. As Coach Weigel said in the team meeting yesterday, special teams are unfortunate sometimes because you can't come back at the next play and make it right.
Right.
Those things are going to be glaring. We had a bad snap that cost us some field position, and those type of things hurt you. We're trotting a true freshman punter or a long snapper out there that's done a great job. So Boda's done a great job all year, and sailed one on that, and Daniel does a good job of recovering it and at least getting it off. That set up the touchdown of the second half, but. I told Thomas after the game, you get one per career. So as a freshman, here's your one. And he really told me beforehand that it wouldn't happen again, Coach. And
it's a lonely world as a long snapper.
It is a lonely world
because you never hear about you until you do that.
Until something goes wrong. But I can't praise Thomas enough for coming in as a true freshman and stepping into that role. Talk about pressure. Like you said, those guys are the unsung heroes until something bad happens. And I'm confident. We haven't lost our confidence in him. And Daniel made him right by recovering it and then getting a kickoff. Now, field position-wise, it hurt us a little bit. But so very, very excited about a lot of things from Saturday. As excited as I've been all year because the production was there. We outgained them again offensively and defensively. Like I said, in the second half, we're dominant at times.
Really bowled your neck.
More the way we've played in the past. And so that was good to see, with a bunch of young guys out there in some spots, that things start to come together, and the growth of our team through the game Saturday. The only thing I told them in the locker room afterwards, listen, I would like every way possible to be able to give this one to you because you earned it in the second half.
Sure, certainly did.
You really earned it.
But again, that's still a learning. That's still a learning process, though, Coach. Don't you believe? Because they were so close and they could see it dangling. Now they can go get it.
Yeah. Now
they know the feeling.
Now we got to finish. We've got to finish. We put ourselves in a position on Saturday to be in a game against a winning D2 football program. I think they're 5-3.
Right.
So they got a winning record, and they're on the top side of things, and built a very good program here over the last several years there. And so that was good competition on the road on the first grass field we played on all year. And some of our young players, the first grass field they played on in their life. So all of those things, weigh into it. But we gave ourselves a chance. But now we've got to finish. We've got to finish, and we've got to get the win.
We've had this discussion for I don't know how many weeks, and really, ever since I've known you, I've talked about we still need a kid at Jill to say, okay, I've had enough.
Yeah.
I'm going to put you on my back. And I really sincerely mean this. I'm going to look you right in the peepers and tell you, Sean Shelton, on Saturday, finally we had a guy, and you want your quarterback to be that guy, but I know he's taking some grief, so I'm standing up for him because I want to tell you, that was a tremendous effort by that kid Saturday.
I told him, I texted him on the bus on the way home, and I said, congratulations, that's the best game you've had as a Cardinal. And
without a doubt,
more bright things to come. You know, he hasn't thrown an interception since the first half of the Sioux Falls game. You know, that's 3 or 4 games ago. So he's, you know, quietly, you know, becoming very productive and doing all the things we all knew he could do, and being a very good leader out there and running things. And you know, he had his best game. There were several guys we looked at as players of the week this week offensively. You know, he has his best game. Chris Stewart probably has his best
played really
game.
well. Stewie did a good job.
Did a great job.
Nice job on the screen
run
pass,
game, screens, catching punts, and you know, John Molson has his best game, and
great
you know,
game.
they had a hard time with him, and some of our other receivers too. You know, Phil Freeman has some big catches, and Ethan Cunningham and Blue. You know, Sean and a freshman, you know, Quentin Reiser gets a big pass interference call. He outruns the coverage on a post, and the guy crawls on his back late because he knows if he doesn't, he's going to score, and gets a big pass interference call. And you know, our backs, you know, we'll talk about this in a little bit, but our backs in protection, you know, lit some people up. Glenn Whitney hit some dudes in protection and just blew them up.
I think he's starting to like to be a pass blocker.
Oh,
don't you?
He's an aggressive sucker, and you know, our tight ends get a kick. Shane Gibson and Andrew Buffa. Those guys had big catches, and so a lot of things you saw come to fruition a little bit, and guys made plays, and that was very, very exciting to see. You know, and then defensively, you know, in the first half we played really good out of the gate. First quarter we were dominant at times in the first quarter.
Right.
And then second quarter, they got us on a couple plays. We had some bad fits on some things, and they got momentum on some short fields, and were able to put some points on the board in the second quarter. And then, you know, came out in the second half, and those guys said enough, and really that's what it was, except for one play that we gave up on a short field.
You know, defensively, I thought, you know, you talked about your secondary, which you're really proud of. You got some young guys there. We talked about we got 4 corners, and, you know, you're playing a lot of nickel and dime. We started that 4 or 5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Been very successful. But I thought Tyler Bolles did a nice job. What I liked, he ran from sideline to sideline. Yeah. I don't know how many times you graded him on backside play, but he made the tackle from the backside. It was one backside play is what I'm referring to.
He did a great job.
And that's just all hustle and guts.
Yeah.
I mean,
he did a great job. You know, Kurt Webster continues to be active for us, and you know, Carmichael and Eric Jackson. And
Carmichael's going to be a dandy.
Those guys, you know, and you know, our most productive guy on Saturday, you know, playing on one leg, Nelson Windebank, he had 14 tackles or something like that.
He was everywhere.
He just, you know, his hardest thing is when you're playing against a taller offensive line is seeing, but he always ends up by the play at the end of it, and he's usually on the ball carrier. And you know, those guys, and Nathan Valentine had one of his better games as of late. You know, he's getting down to the end of his career, and you know, the bye week helped his body. And you know, Luis Nicochea, you know, came in at will too and did some good things. And you know, there's just a lot of guys there that are starting to really come together, you know, with some young guys mixed in there, and starting to play really well together. So we hope we can continue that trek as we finish out the last 3 games here.
Well, I thought defensively we're playing really about 18 to 20 guys, aren't we? Pretty regular.
Yeah, we're playing a lot of guys.
I mean, particularly on defense.
Yeah, you know, the sub packages for us have been good. Allows us to get some more of those guys, and then those substitution packages keep you fresh.
Right.
You know, it takes some guys, takes them off of some guys, and you know, the dime stuff and the nickel stuff's been good, and we've got a bunch of different looks out of those things that we can do, both run looks and pass looks, you know, out of our dime package to get extra guys, get those corners in the box if we think it's run. And in the pass, you know, we've been fortunate enough that when we've subbed them lately, it's been a lot of pass, but we've got the looks to make sure that we're heavy in the run game too out of those when we need them. So all of those things have been good, and you know, getting an extra D lineman in there at times, you know, and get a linebacker out and give him a blow has been, you know, sufficient for us as well.
Well, you know, I have been somewhat, I wouldn't say critical, but was hoping for improvement at a receiver's position. Mm-hmm. I really saw that Saturday.
Yeah.
You talked about Mosen, of course, had a great game. Cunningham did some really good things. Yeah. You know, I think we've got some guys that have really improved, and it's funny, football. It's like a wheel trying to work together, you know, and you've had the injuries and all that stuff, but the guys did a nice job up front, but particularly receivers. Why don't you talk about them a little bit?
Yeah, that group's come a long way, you know, from just a playmaking, you know, standpoint this last week.
particularly last week.
Sean did a great job. I'm not going to compare him because it's a different level and he's a different guy. But you watch good quarterbacks how they spread the ball around.
Aaron Rodgers.
Watched Drew Brees last night.
Yeah, or Aaron Rodgers.
And Aaron Rodgers, and being able to understand defenses and understanding where the weakness is and where to go with the ball. Sean targeted, I think, 7 receivers, seven or 8 guys that caught balls.
Right.
2 tight ends, at least 5 or 6 receivers, probably 8 or 9, actually. Chris Smith got in there and did some good things for us.
Freeman had a good game.
Freeman had a really good game. He made some very key catches in the slot. He makes a big 4th down conversion.
Yes, he does.
So I can't be more proud of those guys. My challenge to them is, okay, we've seen it once now. Now you got to do it every week. Now you got to come out and this week and the last, from here on out and going into next year for the guys that are back, we know you can do it. Now let's just go make plays.
Well, we're getting separation.
You got a guy you can get it to him, and
he can get it to him.
And it was really, really fun to watch that group come together, really offensively on Saturday, and watch the production we got out of them.
And I got to mention this too. We got off special teams already, but Freeman, he's amazing. He's an amazing place kicker. He's an automatic.
Knock on wood, he is 100%. For ones that he didn't get blocked that were under his control.
Bad snap or a block.
Yeah, that were under his control. He's still 100% on his career. Knock on wood.
Well, hey, he hasn't. I mean, everything's down the pipe too.
And here's the
thing.
guy
play golf?
Yeah,
I need to get him as a golf player.
He plays a little bit. He in practice, he'll miss one every now and then in practice, and I always, I go to the, hey, you know what?
You had the flu or something?
You can miss them all day long in practice. As long as you stay 100% in games, we're going to get along real well.
He's automatic.
He had a touchback the other day, and he's frustrated about the one that got away on the long kickoff return. He drove it. Mm-hmm. He drove it, the hang time, and then so the coverage wasn't. Mm-hmm. As you know a lot about kickoff and kickoff return. Even in the NFL at any level, when the kicker drives the ball and it doesn't hang, it doesn't have the hang time, the coverage can't get there in time. And a lot of things can get set up.
It's 10 to 15 yards difference.
Yeah, and he's frustrated with himself about that one. He's the one that saved the touchdown and got the guy out of the bounds on a long return.
Yes,
and then defensively, I made a point in our meeting yesterday. Defense comes in and gets them on a 3 and out.
Yeah.
And keeps them from scoring late because we're down 8 at the time. Keeps them from scoring late and it gives an opportunity for that last drive and score and gives us a chance to win it at the end. So, it was a team effort the other day. I really am waiting for the time we can come in here on Mondays and we can talk about a team win because I know it's coming.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that. Let's stay on the high road and positive because that's the way we roll.
Yeah.
Okay, we look at, we're really happy with the effort, and the improvement. Okay, but that's still not our goal.
Yeah.
But we're looking down the road to the last 3 weeks of the season, which really could be great for recruiting, number one. I mean, a real positive for your program. The kids have I'm going to give a compliment on the air. I've never seen, you're always prepared. And that comes to coaching. You're always prepared. And the second thing is, your kids are wonderful kids, and they always play hard. Now we got 3 games, and let's talk reality. We got a shot at all 3 of these, and it'd be a great way to close out the season.
Yeah, we're the competition here at the end is still, it's still
Division two
competition, and they're winning games. As we go to St. Joe's this weekend, they got a big win last week, and they're doing some really good things, and a lot of young players as well. But no, you're right. I mean, these last 3 games are very important to our future as we move forward into the off season, and probably most importantly for me personally, these last 3 are so important to me for our seniors.
Absolutely, they've given their heart.
Everything. Everything I've asked them to do since I took the job here, they have given 100%. And I told a lot of them after the game Saturday that I want to give it to you. You deserve more than this from a wins and loss standpoint, but understand the legacy that you're going to leave here in being the foundation of what's going on and the building blocks of the pyramid of the success we're going to have. So I'm gonna grind my tail end off, and so is everybody else for the next 3 weeks, and for our whole team. But our seniors have a little special place in my heart, and we got to go out and get some wins.
You bet. Now, I also want to remind everybody the game is going to be at 12 o'clock, right?
Yep, 12 o'clock, yeah.
You know, I think we've had some misinformation, or it's changed a little bit because we thought it was 2. So it's important anybody can't get there can follow us on, on the internet, and hopefully they can be there. I thought our crowd was real good, so you had great support. Hopefully we can keep that continued and go in our direction. And, you know, looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to going to St. Joe and get another victory and get ready to rock and roll here.
I'm hoping for the same thing. You know, that it's a good team. St. Joe does some really good things. They're a little beat up too, I think, but you know, we're
time of the year,
and everybody at this time of the year is going to have their injuries issues, just like we do. You know, they got their own, and we're going to play. You know, probably as far away from home as we've played in a long time, which I enjoy, and our team I think enjoys our road trips. You know, we've played solid on the road all year. Don't have a lot of wins to show for it, but played some really tough competition, obviously. But you know, we travel well, and those guys I think are comfortable on the road and understand the routine, and it's very focused. And we'll come out and I think we'll play well again, and we'll let the chips fall where they fall.
I'm ready to go. I'm ready to play today. I don't know about you, Hoss, but I'm ready.
Yeah, I'd be ready to jump on the bus tomorrow if you told me from a time standpoint. You know, we need some more preparation to get ready.
Yeah, you probably ought to think about it.
You know, if we can fast forward, I'm all about it.
Sounds good. So. Well, that's pretty much it for this week. And again, hopefully everybody will either come out to St. Joe. It's a long haul, so you may not be able to make that. And listen to us and support these guys. They're doing a great job. And I'm really looking for good things the last 3 weeks of this season. So that's another edition of Inside the Cardinal Playbook.